Hello everybody, my name is Hunter Patton and my presentation is Benefits of Driverless Cars, focusing on the future. I'll be talking about all the benefits of driverless cars and autonomous vehicles and how they're going to change our future. So many people might not know, but society has been dreaming about driverless cars for a very long time now. Since around like the 1920s, we first started coming up with ideas for autonomous vehicles, but we didn't start seeing any improvement or any like real realization of driverless cars until around the 1980s. And then in the 1980s, they actually came up with a thing called electronic drive. We have a picture over here. This is a picture showing a scientist in a car, but notice there's no driver in the car. There's not even a steering wheel. So they wanted to come up with this thing called electronic drive, and it would be, while you're driving on the highway, you'd be able to go into a lane and turn on electronic drive, and you wouldn't have to worry about switching lanes or like speeding up or braking or anything like that. It pretty much was like a cruise control. So that was around like the 1950s, actually, 1958 it says. And I believe that driverless cars will revolutionize society in the future. They'll revolutionize society by saving people's lives, improving people's lives, and even helping the environment. So, driverless cars will save people's lives, for one thing, because they already know where they're going. You don't need help driving when the car already knows where you're going. And there's a few things like near-field communication technology. It's a new type of technology that's emerging, and it pretty much uses sensors so that the cars can perceive traffic. And then Toyota actually made a driverless car that's actually been able to drive in different conditions, like snow, sleet, rain, hail. And also you can't drive drunk or under the influence, because the car's going to be driving itself and the car can't be drunk. So that's definitely going to save people's lives. People driving drunk as well as the people who are not driving drunk. So some more reasons why driverless cars will be saving people's lives is that the safety features on cars could become standard. When driverless cars do get around in the near future, the government is definitely going to regulate them. And they're going to make them very efficient, as well as they're going to try to make them as safe as possible. They won't even let this out onto the streets until it is completely safe. And actually a few things, like GM has already announced that certain Cadillac models are going to be able to provide hands-off braking, speed control, and lane following. So that kind of goes along with the cars knowing where they're going too, but it's also a real safety issue. So another thing is that computers can think way faster than people. Like processors on computers can process information much faster. But they actually started dedicated short-range communication technology. It's a potential to play in self-driving cars, and it offers the great promise because it's the only short-range wireless alternative that provides fast network acquisition, low latency, high reliability, and it's a priority for safety applications. And also, cars aren't influenced by human imperfections like human senses or feelings, so yeah, they don't really have any feelings and they don't need like proper advancement. And next we have improving people's lives. So driverless cars are definitely going to be improving people's lives as well as saving them, of course. But some things that I noticed about this car when I was doing my research is that you can put disabled people in there. Like, you can have people who are deaf, blind, disabled, partially paralyzed, missing limbs, even like with prosthetic or robotic parts. And they'll be able to get around in a car, even though like a blind person could not drive. But now they will be. And just like I was saying above, people who usually could not drive will also be able to get around, such as people who are too old or even too young. Like if you're too young to get a driver's license nowadays, you won't be able to drive. But here, you might not even need a driver's license anymore because you're not the driver. But I also had a thought that ambulances will be able to get around better too. Even if we don't have wireless or driverless ambulances, there should be no like traffic at all. It should like decrease the traffic rate. So autonomous cars will have a great impact on our lives. It will make driving safer, more convenient, less energy intensive, and cheaper. And it'll also greatly enhance our freedom. And eventually society would have no need for traffic police because no one's going to be driving. So that would save everybody time and money, and yeah, hassle-free, so that's going to improve everyone's life. And the next slide we have, this is a picture of the Mercedes-Benz they just made recently. This is their vision of a driverless car. This car actually does not work right now. I think it's just a model. But if you notice, they do have very wide doors for any type of passengers to get in. I kind of like how it's all cozy inside and stuff too, so it feels like a little like modern or like futuristic. And the third part, that driverless cars will help to benefit society by helping the environment. So when driverless cars do come around and the government starts regulating everything, they're going to definitely regulate the emission laws. Like the government can do whatever they want with the laws when driverless cars come around. And they would be manufacturing them all anyway, so the government would be able to change the vehicle and emission laws very easily and probably would be able to do it faster too. And if you look at driverless cars and look at electronic vehicles and solar powered vehicles, we could make all of the autonomous vehicles solar powered and electronic cars, which would decrease pollution and CO2 levels drastically. So autonomous cars will have great impact on our lives. It'll make driving safer, more convenient, less energy intensive, and cheaper. And it will also reduce our CO2 footprint. The time has come to seriously consider this technology and to put it into service to benefit our society. And along with making emission laws, we'll be able to enforce emission laws much easier. They could enforce emission laws because they're going to be the ones making the cars and designing them, so they can design them to have whatever fuel emissions that they want. And I really believe in making all the cars solar powered because that's going to be the best way to decrease our CO2 footprint. Solar power is probably the best way to go. But I have a quote over here. In 2012, VisLab Italy has tested their solar-powered autonomous car for 13,000 kilometers from Milan, Italy to Shanghai, China. This journey completed successfully in 3 months and required few terabytes of data for further analysis and processing. And last one, the government could regulate when cars would be allowed to be used as well as where these cars would be able to go. So it kind of decreases the freedom, but they could regulate where pollution would be decreased the most. And in conclusion, I believe driverless cars are going to change society. They're going to make the future much better and brighter for everyone. I feel like they will definitely be a staple in our future. And in the near future, many cars will become driverless. And everyone will likely notice a higher standard of life, of living. And definitely it would change the world for the better. Driverless cars will help to improve as well as save people's lives every day, and they will even help to benefit the environment. The time has come to seriously consider this technology and put it into service to the benefit of our societies. These dreams people have about driverless cars and autonomous vehicles will be achieved very soon, and I believe that when these ideas do come to fruition, driverless cars will change the future of the world for the better. And just to let you know, there's no escape from innovation, especially in a world run by scientists and engineers. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. This is my bibliography page. And that's my bibliography page continuing. And thank you all for watching, and I'd love to hear any feedback from you. Thank you.